Hi, welcome to PM Lectures channel. Today we'll be discussing about how to mitigate the fire in electric vehicle. The recent developments in mitigating the fire will be discussed in this video. First, we'll be starting with the introduction of electric vehicle. The electric vehicle came into existence for decarbonizing the transport. That is, in order to remove the carbon content from the transport, we have to go for different alternatives. In that, one alternative will be electrical vehicle. That is, you can see here. That is in 1880s, the first electric car is made in the German market. Then after some time, the people got less interest in electric vehicle. That is in about 1929, economic crash have been taken place. So the electric vehicle manufacturer have ended into bankrupt. So they are not able to manufacture electric vehicle. It has been stopped. Then after World War II, what happened? The importance is given to vehicular emissions and global climate conditions also have been given consideration. So in again 1990, the electrical vehicle attention came into existence, and the main important thing is for decarbonizing the transport. EV will not be a mitigation when electricity is not cleaned. That is, we have to look for electricity from renewable sources. If you are going to generate electricity from coal, then my electrical vehicle will not be a mitigation. So we have to look for renewable sources and we have to go for smart grids. And regarding this statistics related to the emission, you can see the transports account about 37 percentage of total emission reduction. That is in 2050. If you want to control the emission, your transport sector alone is going to contribute about 37 percentage. And there is a target by 2015, that is the increase in global temperature should be maintained as 2 degree, so that we can prevent the climate change disaster. For that, we have to ensure that 3/4 of vehicle in 2050 it should be electric vehicles. And regarding this Indian transport sector, you can see in 75% of the total vehicles will be two wheelers. And our current scenario, we are importing crude oil. That is majorly we are dependent on import. When we are going for electric vehicle, this dependency can be reduced. And you can see in this pie chart, that is we can see which sector is going to contribute more emissions. That is a passenger segment along the road, cars, motorcycle, you can see it is going to contribute more, 45.1. Next, it is a good transport, that is a freight, trucks and lorries, 29.4. Aviation will be 11, shipping 10, and rail will be very minimum, and others will be 2.2. So you can see when passenger transportation, if we are going to switch over to electric vehicles, the major reduction in emission can take place. And regarding this electric vehicle, the statistics shows we can reduce the greenhouse gas emission up to 60% compared to traditional vehicles. That is, you can see the transport sector is the largest greenhouse emissions. That is, among the emissions, 14% comes from transport sector. So when I'm going to switch over to electric vehicle, it will be replacing this greenhouse emissions. And what will happen? This will be getting limited when I'm going to get the electricity from coal. That is when I'm going to get electricity from the coal, and when I'm going for electric vehicle, there is no point in reducing this greenhouse gas emission, because the source of electricity is from fossil fuel. Again, it is going to contribute to greenhouse emission. So what I have to do is I have to look for renewable energy sources to produce electricity. That is, I go for wind energy, solar, hydroelectricity. So that have to be kept in the mind. So the major objective is we have to decarbonize the electricity sector. Then only the objective can be achieved. And I should maintain the efficient load management in electrical system. And India has made a target, that is nationally determined contribution to achieve net zero emission by 2070. So keeping in this mind, we have to work. And we will be coming to the today recent development in mitigating the fire. You might have seen now in electric vehicle the major problem will be battery capturing the fire. That is a major concern, the current state of research. So what is the study it has been taken place is the National Transportation Safety Board in US. They are highlighting it, the electrical vehicle battery fires are low compared to gas vehicle. What happened now, there is a statistics that among 1 lakh vehicle 1500 gas cars will be catching the fire, whereas electric vehicle will be 25. So the probability for catching fire for electrical vehicle is less compared to gas car. So when the fire will come, when we are having oxygen, when we are having the heat source, there is a spark and fuel. And regarding electric fuel, we'll be having a battery, there's a lithium ion, say always the fuel source will be available to me. When I'm going to have oxygen and a spark, it will be catching the fire. So that is the main thing in electrical vehicle, the fuel source will be always present in the vehicle itself. So in the battery what will happen, the anode and cathode will be storing the lithium, and conventional battery will be having a liquid electrolyte. So what will happen, lithium ions will be traveling between the two electrodes when it's going to store or release energy. So when manufacturing the battery, any metal particle, unfinished metal particle is going to enter into the electrolyte. What will happen? This metal particle will get electrified. It will be getting charged up as well as down, and it will be introducing a spark. This spark will be igniting the fire in the battery cell, and from that battery cell, it will be getting opened up. So oxygen presence also will come into the picture, and it will be spreading to other parts, other cell. So the entire battery back will be in fire. So this can be termed as a thermal runaway. Thermal runaway is the temperature at which the battery is going to get fire. So what will happen? The thermal runaway, the battery cell will be damaged so that it will produce a heat and flammable gases. So heat will be produced near the battery cells, and further heat it will be releasing more heat and gas. And what will happen? The fire will be self-sustaining. It will not be extinguished because we'll be having the presence of fuel, we'll be having the presence of spark heat, and it will be open. Oxygen also will be available. So it is not easier to put out. So then we are having the nickel and cobalt battery. That's Tesla has introduced in the battery in 2008. What is the major advantage of this battery is it can charge quickly and it can hold lot of energy. So I can have a longer range and faster top up. It is very useful for transportation sector. But major drawback is the thermal runway is lower. You can see 400 to 300 degree Fahrenheit. So the chances of getting fire is more. And the current trend, what now the electric vehicles are going to have is lithium iron phosphate battery, that is LFP batteries. It has been introduced by Tesla in Model 3 and Y. Here what happened, the thermal runway will be happening at high temperature, say 520 degree Fahrenheit. Why no? Because the bond between the iron and phosphate will be stronger. So when I want to break the bond, I need more temperature. And another major positive characteristics of this battery is slower to degrade. So it will be having what, long life cycle. Since it is having a higher thermal runway, it will be having high safety. So there will be a low risk of overheating and catching the fire. And another thing is the production material used for this LFP battery or economical. So I can produce the battery at low cost, cheaper. It will be cheaper. So that are the major benefits of LFP battery. That nowadays you can see the advanced electrical vehicle which is going to come now. We have to check that the battery is LFP. It is the most desirable battery. And other automakers are trying to sell to chassis manufacturing. They are going to integrate the battery into the structure of the car. That will be possible only with this LFP batteries. Next one is you might have come across about cattle, CATL. He is a leading battery manufacturer in the world. You can see in the sketch 34% of the battery produced by that cattle only. They will be supplying the batteries to Tesla, BMW and Volkswagen. So what they have done is they have devised smoke electric isolation. So whenever any battery cell is going to capture the fire, it will be isolated. The fire will not be transferred to other parts. That is a recent development done by them. Then we are looking for solid state electrolyte. Instead of having a liquid electrolyte, we'll be having an electrolyte in a solid state. What is the advantages? It will not be flammable. The risk of fire will be mitigated when I'm going to use solid state electrolyte. But the research is still under progress. It has not been implemented in production cars. Then we'll be discussing about lithium ion battery. You might have seen a major accident will be coming from this lithium ion battery. What is the major problem is due to the cheaper and aftermarket battery, they will not pass through the stringent quality control. So it will be easily catching the fire. The quality of the battery will not be good. So that in recent times you can see most of the two-wheelers, electric two-wheelers will be catching fire because there is no stringent quality control. In US, what they have ensured is they are ensuring the public to get the battery from underwriter laboratory. So it is a prescribed laboratory to purchase the battery so that safety can be ensured. And they will be mentioning about whether any recycling component are present in that. And they have been developing fire blankets and extinguisher in order to mitigate the fire coming from electric vehicle. And there is a agent called, you can see here, TRPLE. So it is a encapsulator fire agent. It is normally used in electric vehicle to tamp down the thermal runway. And Renault has developed a fireman access port. What is the main advantage is when electric vehicle is going to capture fire, you can directly pump water directly onto the battery when you are going to use this port. And the major development now is the European Union by 2021, it is going to make the mandatory for EV manufacturers to make battery passport. In that battery passport, you should have a details of battery makers, battery manufacturing location, testing procedure, and availability of recycled content. So you can see here in the left hand side, it is a circularized battery passport. What are the information? You can see it. And the most advanced automaker, Volvo, they have already launched this battery passport in their model EX90 SUV. So with this, we have seen how to mitigate the fire in electric vehicle. Further technologies we'll be discussing in the subsequent videos, and you can see the reference for this content. So with this, we are ending it. We'll be discussing further later.